Hi, I'm Mia Christie, and I paint with gouache, which is an opaque watercolor and acrylic paint, and I teach art classes online. And I want to give you a little tidbit of wisdom that I've learned about creativity and how important it is to create. So this is all just from my own experience and the reading I've done. And what I've discovered while painting and writing is something called that I call the allowing effect. That's the name I've given this thing I've noticed. And before we dive in, please share this video with anyone who is artistic, who likes to paint or write or photograph and make videos, anything creative, any maker in your life or creator in your life, because I wouldn't want them to miss this video. And this can also be someone who is naturally artistic, or actually I don't really believe in naturally artistic, but someone who likes to be artistic or creative but doesn't get as much time to do it as they would like. This is also for them. So the allowing effect. You may have heard of some people who say that although they've worked hard and they've created a lot in their life, they've been very productive and produced a lot, that they felt like they never worked a day in their life. For them it was just fun. And I think about like Lin-Manuel Miranda, who created Hamilton, the musical Hamilton. I think about J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. Georgia O'Keeffe, who, she would like go camping. Sorry, my cat actually just moved my camera. She would go camping, in the desert in New Mexico and to capture the landscapes there, the gorgeous desert landscapes. So here's a quote by Thomas Edison. You might have heard it before. "I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun." So, obviously he worked tirelessly to invent the light bulb, but it took him many, many tries. And for him, it was just fun. He was just experimenting. So it's not so much that work itself is exhausting. A lot of people, I think, are seeking ways to like get out of doing work or like retire early these days. But it's not so much that work itself is tiring. It's just work that isn't really what you want to be doing. I mean, there is such a thing as doing work that's incredibly satisfying, even though it's tiring. But I think the thing that really causes a lot of exhaustion is resisting our natural inclination to create. So resisting doing the thing you should be doing, or that would give you the most satisfaction. So resistance in general is tiring. Like you may have noticed if you're avoiding someone or something, that can be very tiring and kind of wear you down. So I think ignoring that itch to draw or paint or write, make music, we're denying a part of ourselves, and we're like letting ourselves down. And so I think that causes a lot of the stress or the strain from doing the work we end up doing instead. So again, like if you're seeing this video, please share it with your most artistic friend, please. Or someone who would like to be more artistic, or maybe even someone who thinks they're not creative. That'd be cool too. So the allowing effect is when you allow art to come through you. And it's more of like, it's actually a very natural thing to create art. And so this might look like sitting down in front of a blank canvas and just painting with no agenda, nothing planned out, and just seeing what comes forth from your brush. This is like a way I feel like when I've painted like that, it's almost like someone else is painting, but it's coming through me, but I'm just allowing it to come through, and it's awesome. And there's no agenda, there's no final result. I don't know how it's going to turn out. And of course I love, drawing and painting more realistically too, but I think it's good to sometimes get into that more like a flow, natural state of just creating from nothing. So, this could also look like you've just been out on a hike and, you've soaked up all the gorgeous greenery in the woods. You've heard the animals in the trees, birds sing, and you want to capture that somehow, and maybe you write a vivid description of it. You know, it could be inspired by something, but oftentimes I think it's like it comes from nowhere. It comes from our imagination. So many times I've made like constraints to make it simple for me to create art. So if I have fewer options, sometimes it's easier for me to create. So what I might do is I just pick 2 colors of paint, and then I might mix a third color from them. Usually white is involved when I mix my colors, to just have different shades of the same color. And then I say, okay, I'm just going to make something from these couple of colors, and then I can produce something pretty quickly. It's when I have more choices sometimes that I think it's harder to come up with something. And one time I did that, I picked like multiple shades of blue. I had multiple colors of blue in my paint kit, and I just kind of played around with mixing them together and putting them all on the canvas together. And I filled the canvas in less than 10 minutes. I think it took me 7 minutes to finish that. And the time stretched out. Like, I didn't feel like it was that quick, but when I came back and looked at the clock, I was amazed at how fast that was. But it made me want to keep going, and then I painted something else. So, you know, sometimes just getting started also allows something to come through you, and it kind of gets you going, and then maybe you paint something more specific. You know, it's just like a flow of color coming out from my paintbrush, and you know, onto canvas or onto paper. I think for me that's a good exercise to do once in a while. So recently I was teaching an art class online, and we had been learning very specific things like how to draw and how to draw realistically. And I think what was a little bit challenging for one of my students was all of a sudden switching gears to just have no constraints, no specific objective, to just paint something, anything you wanted. I gave her like more options, like it could be a landscape, it could be an object, it could be anything. And you know, while she painted and then my other students in the class painted, I was painting as well. And I ended up painting like an abstract landscape that, let's see if I can, I don't know if I have it with me, but, oh, here it is. That is like unexpected colors, like the ground is orange and red and purple, and the sky is blue and purple. I mean, the sky kind of makes sense, but the ground has like almost no green in it. I think there's like a tiny bit of green, which really just is like a yellow, chartreuse yellow. Anyway, so I painted that, and then I shared it with the group. Everyone shared their paintings, and my student was like, wow, I wish I had just gone for it like you did. So there's some way she described what I did, which was like, she could see like the freeness in it, you know, like the very loose way I painted. It was quick and it was not very specific, you know, just layers of color kind of on top of each other. And for her, that looked more like free, you know, like I had just gone for it. What didn't hold back. So she realized that she was holding herself back in a way, and being a little constrained in how she was painting, and you know, that sometimes good things come out of like being very free and loose. So that was a great thing for her to realize, so that when she paints again, she can just be free like that and just kind of go for it. And it is really good practice to allow yourself to be really loose and allow just yourself to paint freely. So again, the allowing effect, right? Just allow it to happen without trying to achieve a particular result. And some of my favorite paintings have had no plan, like I was telling you before, and I was just going for it. So I'm gonna wrap up now, but please don't forget to share this with your friends, especially the ones who like to draw or paint, or anyone who likes to invent or make videos or take great pictures. I'm so happy that you tuned in, and I will be going live soon.